This morning I'm on my way to Anton to go to one of the municipal offices because over a year ago when we started construction on the Casita, the engineer submitted plans. I was told we were given the go-ahead, and then someone at the office decided that the Casita wasn't in the right, it was too close to the street and they weren't going to approve the plans, even though the engineer had submitted them and they were supposedly pre-approved and the go-ahead was given to go ahead with construction. And then Tony had worked some deal with someone he knew that if the health department signed off on the Casita, then the other department could sign off. And so we had the health inspection and that went fine. And then the building people still said no. So we're going there today and hopefully getting it straightened out. If not, we might have to wait until the new administration comes in. Elections are in early May, and a lot of times there'll be a new wave of employees in these municipal offices, so that's another option. It's kind of mind-boggling because if the Casita isn't legally registered, then I can't pay taxes on it. So you'd think that the incentive would be to, have me pay tax on that property. So we'll see how it goes. Really pretty park here in Anton, but wow, it was hot. We had a downpour later in the day, so we had to wait a little bit for the rain to clear up because, it just poured down. The streets were flooded. There's a tree coming up in this shot that I love. It's got this really pretty yellow blossom that just kind of hangs down, and that would be a nice tree to have. I'm actually pruning my trees a little bit so they will start to grow like actual trees. I had just let them kind of grow all the branches wherever they wanted, but now they look a little more structured. So Tony and I actually had a little bit of success at the Anton office. It turns out that the zoning for my plot was incorrect, and so they were going by things that don't apply to my lot. So my lot's 1,000 square meters. And the parameters that they were going by were the requirements for 2,500 square meter lots. So the first thing we have to do is apply for a rezoning. And then the next thing we have to do is apply for I forget what they call it, like a grandfather clause basically, or special permission. Because even though it's not, the structure's not supposed to be as close as it is, there are plenty of structures like that in the neighborhood. So I just have to go take a bunch of pictures, and then the engineer will file for the change of zoning. So that's promising. We'll see what happens. Right now I'm gonna go do some errands on Main Street in Valle. So I thought I would take you along and just show you some of the little spots that I might go to, and maybe some that I don't go to and would like to go to. First stop is to pay Nattergy in this little store that's the first one when you come into town. Well, I couldn't pay the Nattergy bill because the woman was at lunch, so I had to go back to the store and pay the bill. But you can see there is so much stuff in these stores. There's everything from hardware, electricity, tools, light bulbs, lawn care, pet care, and then on the other side of the store they have a full-on grocery with food, dry food, even some vegetables in the refrigerated section, and they even have a meat counter where I've actually bought chicken and it's been pretty good. There's also crafts, and they're just jam-packed with so much stuff. And there's probably about maybe 4 or 5 of stores just like this in El Valle. So you can pretty much find most things that you need. As far as food goes, are you going to find everything you want at the time that you want it? No, probably not. I've been looking for fresh dill for probably 3 months because I want to make a recipe, and I can't even find it anywhere in Coronado. I know that I've seen it at Reba Smith at one point, but I'll just have to keep looking. And then I'm also looking for seeds so that I can plant dill. We have a fantastic recycle collection center. This is a landmark right here. You want to turn onto this drive and you go past a little car wash that's on the right-hand side. I haven't used them yet. I generally bring my car down to Coronado to get a car wash. There's a guy that works in the Coronado shopping plaza that I think he actually really enjoys being thorough with washing cars, so I bring it down there. This is the recycling center. They have just expanded a little bit to add this area. They take everything, glass, plastic, even used cooking oil, aluminum, of course, cardboard. Some of it will actually get used for composting in the soil. Even the crinkly plastic, they will take that and they will give it to botellas de amor, bottles of love. It actually goes to build construction materials in other Latin American countries. So definitely bring all your recycling to the recycling center. That little Italian place is new. I haven't been there yet. And you can certainly get a lot of fruit at the market, but I also like to support the smaller vendors, and sometimes you can find really nice fresh fruit. So in this corner there's another Fericentro. It's David Fericentro. This is where I got most of my construction supplies. And then there's 2 mini supers right next door to that. And then down this road is where the tourist police and the police are located. And then here we have Melo. They have gardening and pet supplies. Bodhi Hostel's right next door. It's a good spot to grab a coffee and watch the backpackers arriving. And there's a little pizza place right next to Bodhi. It always smells so good when they're making something with garlic. I've been buying these huge containers of peat moss, usually, from here. And you can get pet food. The one down in Coronado is a little bigger, but generally they have a good selection of products here in this store. Pots, soil, hoses, tools, fertilizers, toxic stuff for the ants, more machetes, boots. They pack a lot of stuff into these little spaces. This is another one of my favorite little shops. They have good crafty stuff in here. And I need to pick up some paint because my paints have dried up and I need to paint my garden rocks. I noticed recently here that they actually had some seeds, so that's pretty cool. I'll have to check that out in a little more detail. Buenas. Let's go to the paint. Oops, this is not the paint. This is beauty supplies, nails and toothbrushes and makeup and hair things, all sorts of stuff. But I'm gonna go get paint right in here. They have some embroidery thread too, so if that's one of your hobbies, you can find that here. If you're a beader, there's beads. There's even clothing in here. I think it's mostly for kids, all the clothing. And then there's yarn, towels, even some luggage I'm seeing, curtains. As you can see, there's a lot of stuff packed in here. Fans, some cleaning things. All right, I'm gonna go get my paint and then we'll be on to the next. That's the Uno Express office, so if you need to get anything delivered from within Panama, that's where you'd go pick it up. There's one of the gas stations right across from the artisan market, and the other gas station was near the first Ferricentro that I went to, but it was all blocked off. Down this road is a place where you can get copies made. They have an email where you can actually send the documents that you need to get printed. We're in another mini super, and this one has also a little bit of everything. Refrigerated section, cleaning supplies. So these are good like if you're just gonna be here for a little bit, you know, single roll of toilet paper. And this is actually where a lot of Panamanians will shop because oftentimes that's all they can do is get the thing they need for the day. And I thought I even saw some crafty supplies down here. Lots of pasta. I really don't know how they all stay in business because there's so many. And you'd think that there's only so much food that people could eat. Oh, this coffee smells good. This looks good here too. some craft supplies. Nice. And booze. Oh my gosh, it always smells so good. They have really good cookies. They have yummy cakes. They always sell, oh, they have good coffee here too. Chocolate chip cookies are good. They have breads. Well, all of my car windows stopped working, so I might be going to some kind of mechanic. I actually went to a guy before. I was having an issue and it was a fuse and he was able to fix it, so maybe this is a fuse. I have a feeling it probably is because all four are not working, and I was just looking up on Google and it sounds like there might be like one main fuse. Let's hope that's all it is. On this back road is the clinic that I believe is opening and functional. It's for emergencies, but I had a friend that went to just get like a urinalysis and they said they couldn't do it, but maybe that was right when they were first opening. This is the Ray Plaza, of course the Ray grocery store, and there's a 99 store that I like to go to, and this store across the street, I'll pop in there. They actually have some really good shoes. With the usual 99-cent store stuff. Changing inventory all the time. This is where I buy my incense because I'm such a hippie. And it's inexpensive. And it's pretty good. I need to look for something to handle the mosquitoes because there are mosquitoes outside the Casita that are getting inside because my current guests are getting bitten. And I wanted to see if I can get some napkins for the Casita. They used to have these really cute napkins that said Panama, but I haven't seen those in a while. I do not see them now. Oh, I actually use these little pails for so many different uses. I use them for cleaning, for gardening. They're very handy. This store has good shoes, and they have a resident cat that I really like. And they have a lot of other products, as you can see. You can get decor, things for the bedroom, things for the bathroom, things for the kitchen, things for your kids, things for hiking, a dress, any number of things. These are really good shoes to have in El Valle. Alright, I'm gonna go to the Ray. Gotta get some grocery shopping done. This Ray usually has some of the rotisserie chickens. They're really delicious. I think they're around $6. They used to be like $4.99 when I first moved here a couple of years ago. Pretty decent meat department. Some of the stuff I don't know what it is. And I usually really don't buy too much red meat anyway. In the dairy section, there's creamers that you can pay top dollar for if you're used to certain brands. Even ricotta cheese, I noticed here at the Ray, is like $6 for a pint. The baking section is usually pretty well stocked. I think Panamanians really like to bake, so you'll find all sorts of the usual stuff that you need. And even I've noticed some coconut flour, oat flour. You can get almond milk pretty easily, even without sugar. I get the almond milk without sugar. Of course, then you have cereals that are full of sugar, but at least the milk doesn't have it. There's quite a few products that are from Spain. So there are some nice olive selections, and there's sardines and other stuff that I don't really know what it is, but it's in the section that is from Spain. Our store here in El Valle has a pretty small produce section, but the one in Coronado is much larger, so you can get a lot more produce options. But of course we have the artisan market that has produce, but like I said, it's really revolving. You just don't know what you're gonna find. Sometimes they're out of onions. Haven't been able to find dill. Sometimes they'll have certain herbs, sometimes not. So it's best to go to the store and then see what they have to decide what to make, rather than have a recipe in mind. And Vets recently moved into this corner unit in the Ray Plaza. They had been at a different location in town, but I think this is a pretty good spot for them. Well, the Ray was out of this garlic aioli that I was highly addicted to for a few weeks when they had it. And you'll notice there's not a huge selection of produce. Fruits and vegetables are kind of minimal. I really do miss the fruits and vegetables that I had access to in California. I kind of miss artichokes and figs, although I have a fig tree, so hopefully it's gonna produce figs, although it's not doing great at the moment. I have to move it. A lot of people ask about organic produce. Unfortunately, it's just not really a thing here in Panama. There are some growers that are using more organic methods and not using harsh chemicals, herbicides, and pesticides. But generally, those are not found in the markets. Most of the produce comes from Punta, which is in the Chiriquí province. And unfortunately, they do use pesticides and herbicides pretty heavily. In fact, I think they use some that are banned in other countries. Depending on where you end up, you can find in like a Facebook group or maybe a WhatsApp group small local growers or very small local farms that might have more organic offerings, but it's kind of slim pickings if you're looking for only organic. And it's mango season right now, so I am just really thrilled, enjoying mangoes every day, and still very much in love with my papayas. And I think I figured out the difference between the male papaya tree and the female papaya tree. And there's even a hermaphrodite papaya tree. Who knew? Learning a lot about science and biology.